Heard you wanna get down. Heard you been asking about me to everybody else. Now it's nobody else, nobody else. Makes me so crazy. You're the one true prize, apple of my eye. Know you're looking for somebody who's your type. I got it, I got it, I got you. I got you, I got you.
Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general mini cross reading for May 2021. I do have with me the Radiant White deck, the La Vida Sibila for clarification, and the Golden Nostradamus. You'll get a chance to wrap it up with the Golden Nostradamus. I have already done some shuffling and meditation on your sign and glyph. This reading being general means that the messages will not resonate with everyone. In order to gain any more insight on your situation does require personal reading. You can see my email address, my website address there in the bottom left-hand corner. Simply go over to the website if you'd like to purchase a personal reading. When you get there, you can click on tarot consultations, hover your mouse rather over that on the main menu, and it will pull down all of the different reading packages that I have to offer. So with that being said, let's get directly into the reading. I'm going to do another rifle and shuffle on the cards for you. I do like to, for you guys to see me pull the cards. Oh, well, a reverse Three of Swords just fell out. So that's where we are. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. And, I kind of like to see the, Three of Swords going to show up. I prefer it that it shows up reversed. Really, I do. What is this is where we are now, or the energy now at the moment. And when I say now, for some of you Scorpio people, this could be something that has started back in April, maybe at the end of March, or even in March. For others of you, you might be in the thick of it right now. For the rest of you, this may be coming up during the month of March, okay? So, I don't know if I split those or not, if I was just holding on to them. Okay, so what is the foundation of the issue? Well, the High Priestess. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. What is the near or distant past? The Seven of Swords. Wow. What is the unknown influence? The Queen of Swords. There's a lot of swords here. What is the near or distant future hold? The Ace of Wands. My. This is interesting. What is over the energy over the entire reading? The Two of Swords. Well, I don't know if some of you are dealing with someone, their initials may be B and J or J and B. I always bring that up. It doesn't always come out to me, but this has come up now. I don't know if those initials mean anything, if they are important to you. But this High Priestess basically speaks to your own intuition, right? It could speak to, I don't know, hormonal issues. It could be about what you do for a living. Sometimes she will show up when you're dealing with a highly intelligent female. I've seen it show up for people who might be on the autism spectrum. And basically, she is the keeper of secrets, okay? and not necessarily secrets. She's the keeper of knowledge. She holds the Torah on her lap. In other words, she's like the librarian. So she sees a lot, she knows a lot, she may not always say a lot. Okay? It's representative of the moon. And it is a 2. And I don't know if this is a situation where you feel that you know something and you haven't said anything about it. Maybe you are keeping a secret. There's this implication, and I'm going to be honest, I have seen her show up when it's another woman that you had no idea anything about. Okay? Honestly. In a relationship. This 3 of Swords reversed, in a sense, kind of tells me there may be, or 3 people, or at least 3 things thought or said that were quite painful. That has now reversed itself. The 7 of Swords can be a tricky card to interpret because traditionally it's looked at as the card of thievery, lies, fraud perpetrations, stalking, theft, usually in broad open daylight. But I will tell you that there are 2 other interpretations of this card, and they're very old. The first one is the idea that something hasn't gone to plan as of late, and it's only because, you were running around not really paying attention to what you were doing. The second is a house move, but I never really see that. But somebody, I think that's an Etiella interpretation, which comes from like the 1400s. So apparently somebody has made those connections with people with the house move. I do see a home here or a building on a hill over here. Can you see it right there? Okay. And so sometimes this card can be the idea of some type of contractual issue. Someone not being straightforward about something. It is this Queen of Swords here, who is, for all intents and purposes, for me, in terms of interpretation, she's like the earthly embodiment of justice, right? She holds a sword of truth in her hand. She invites you to come and speak to her and tell the truth. You see, she's elevated above the clouds, which means she has a bird's eye view, but she's also very clear in her thinking. This is someone who does not mince words, comes from, may have some pain, personal tragedy in her life, doesn't make her bitter. She's normally known as the divorcee card, but, not all divorcees are bitter. I'm a divorcee. I'm not bitter. And so it's basically just someone who is direct and forthright, can be a counselor, can be a lawyer, can be a doctor, a dentist, a surgeon, a chef, any place where sharp tools are needed to perform a job, or she can be a writer, a counselor, like I said that already, a writer, an editor, a counselor, even a lawyer, somewhere where keen intellect, is needed to perform a job. If this is somebody who is on your side and fighting for you, you can't find a better female, warrioress? I don't even think that's a real word. If she is against you, you're going to have a battle on your hands. So I want to take a look. The whole thing is this idea that here's a 2. Okay? And 2s always represent some type of choice, option, duality, opposition. It says you're at a crossroads, a decision needs to be made. Now, when it comes to oppositions, this could be you being opposed within yourself. Did somebody lie to me and trick me and steal from me? Or am I just, that's just, coming up from stuff that I have, emotional stuff, right? Could have to do with your mom, don't know. But that card is, to me, the hoodwinked card. And this says that I don't have enough information to know what to think, what to do. So I'm just going to sit here and not do anything. But I don't know if you can see. It's kind of hard to see. It's blurry. But her left eye is not all the way covered. So to me, this implies that you know exactly what's going on. You're just, for whatever intents and purposes, maybe you're waiting for some kind of truth to come out. about this, right? Before you can act. Let me take a look and see what this Three of Swords has to say. Reversed. This is important. Because right side up, it talks about, separations, pain, fights, anger. It can also represent messages as well that are painful in nature. But this card has a sense of vision, right? Sometimes, maybe we have to be hurt in order to see things clearly. And maybe we have to hurt other people in order to stand our own ground. But let me see here. Let me get to the Three of Swords reversed and tell you what the cards mean. It says that it is an indication and a time to let go of things that no longer positively serve you in your life. If a relationship which is no longer positive and growing is causing unhappiness, the relationship must be allowed to die a natural death, regardless of the short-term pain. This card, with its sense of vision and understanding, makes this pain a bit easier to bear. It implies that something sad or painful must be, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Says that it, wait a minute, I'm trying to find the reverse meaning. Yes, this is the upright meaning. That you have to allow something to work itself out. Now, when it is reversed, it tells of transition, difficulties, emotional upheaval, frustration, alienation, error, loss, distraction and disorder, confusion, conflict, disillusion, sorrow, and sadness. I would say there's some confusion here. This is a message to think before you speak. Okay? It basically has the same meaning as the upright. It's only not as severe, reversed. It tells of disorder and confusion and scattered energies. It says, be careful not to become involved with petty quarrels and arguments, as these can be blown out of proportion and become serious disagreements. Think before you act. It implies that there may be a loss of some kind and there will be a need for reorganization. Quarrels, arguments, and disagreements may erupt at this time, and you are asked to remain calm and patient rather than stubborn, aggressive, or hostile, as this will only exacerbate the problem. A difficult and painful period which has dragged on for far too long is indicated when this card appears reversed, and it has led to destructive practices, emotional upheaval, arguments and conflicts, and a sense of frustration. But it also implies that you may find that you are becoming obsessed with negative experiences that are happening in the present and are denying previous happier times. So you are encouraged to step back from the situation and try to become more objective. It indicates disappointments, mental anguish, inner turmoil, and loneliness. It may also indicate some sort of upheaval due to an emotional family situation. And it is a warning to think before you speak, as unnecessary arguments may cause hurt feelings and separations. Apologies may need to be made. Doesn't tell me anything next to this High Priestess. Let me move on to the Seven of Swords. It could be implying that you are carrying a heavy load or burden upon your shoulders. You need to learn to delegate and to not deny other people the responsibility of learning their own lessons about their actions in regards to cause and effect. It may indicate that dealings may have been dishonest or not straightforward and direct. So it brings a message to be particularly aware of all proceedings and to remain cautious. It can suggest to you that your plans are not working out as planned, so look for alternatives. If the plan does not work out, you should not look to place blame on others, but rather to look to yourself for the reasons of failure. It may also indicate that the most likely cause of failure is hasty actions and a lack of focus and concentration. It tells of upset plans, postponements, delays, and cancellations, as if everything is going wrong around you at the moment. It tells of tension, arguments, disagreements, and misunderstandings within a current situation. And it may also imply that someone is delving into issues that are not their business. It could be warning you to be honest and upfront in your dealings, because if not, you're going to get caught out. And it says it could imply that someone is inclined to take flight rather than face up to and take the appropriate responsibility and action to find a solution. Tells me nothing. I don't even have next to this High Priestess here. So now I'm going to look at the Ace of Wands with the High Priestess to see if she can tell me anything. So the question becomes, is this simply you being in your emotions, or is this someone else? Okay, there's no indication about this Ace of Wands next to any of these cards. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me read to you a few things about the High Priestess. And maybe this may help you. Not sure. We shall see. And then we're going to pull cards on her. Okay, so the High Priestess, balance, psychic abilities, intuition, reaction, response, depths, undercurrents. And I think that's the energy that's coming off of here. There's some undercurrents happening here. Serenity, knowledge, wisdom, mystery, feminine forces, magic, spiritual knowledge, strength, understanding, truth, honesty, receptivity, passivity, potential, secrets, and something to arrive. The divinatory meaning is a thirst for knowledge of an esoteric nature or secrets to be revealed. Potential abundance, but as yet unfulfilled. Sometimes she can simply come out and say, you know what? The answer is not there yet. But I'm going to take a look to see what this card is telling me. And I'm going to take a look and see what the Seven of Swords is saying. First, let me look at the Seven of Swords. They tell me that this will is the right order. This is what they say. We shall see. You know, there's this idea of the moon here, quarter moons, maybe. Leggerezza. Letterato. And the sacerdote. By the way, this is the King of Swords. Carelessness. Now, sometimes the leggerezza can be interpreted as an affair. Okay. And the letterato is simply a man of letters. In other words, it's somebody who's matched in intelligence with you. Okay. Maybe what they do is they study, they're a scientist or whatever. The sacerdote, however, can speak to, if not someone having to do with the law, like a lawyer or a prosecuting attorney, and a legal issue, can indicate someone supposedly that you can put your trust in, right? But the question becomes, there's something that he is pointing his finger to say that this is where the trouble comes from. And to me, this is him waiting for someone to come in so he can sit down and have a conversation with them. The leggerezza technically is the card of carelessness. You may have misjudged or miscalculated a situation. Now, does this mean there are lies being told? I don't know. Could be. Maybe someone trying to avoid having that conversation. Maybe you miscalculated the situation. So let's take a look to see what this High Priestess can tell us. She's at the base. She's the foundation of the reading here. The Mercante. The Donna de Servizio. That's interesting. And the Bambino on the High Priestess. So I am assuming that this is about a potential, but something that's not yet fulfilled. I'm not exactly sure if this is somebody you were dealing with who has not been upfront and honest, and maybe there was some kind of disappointment with that, and there was an argument, right? Or you just decided you weren't even going to talk to that damn person because you're already seeing what the character's like. Okay, right? They waiting on you. You were supposed to go talk to them, but you found out they were doing something sneaky behind the scenes. Because this Mercante is a king of coins. And so basically, as a person, he's going to represent a business person. This is not somebody who is wealthy because they were born with wealth. This is somebody who's shrewd in business and calculating and knows what they are doing. As a situational issue, this king of coins can be interpreted as a job offer. Okay? It can be interpreted as, let's say, it really is speaking about a male. There is no situational thing here. This person is cold and calculating, and this person, and it could be the same man. What do you say about that? This person is detached and unemotional, but nonetheless faithful and dependable without being calculating and self-serving. Whereas this guy can be calculating and self-serving when it comes to love. That's really all it says here. I'm trying to see if it tells me anything about... In financial matters, it indicates prosperous commerce, meeting influential people and advantageous business jobs and offers. And I think that's what this is. But the potential has not yet come yet. So the question becomes is, maybe you get the feeling that the person is like this, but you may find out that the person wasn't being honest with you about something. You misjudged this situation when you went to speak to the person. That's what I'm picking up. The Donna de Servicio is a maid, right? And so basically she's just like a helper card. She comes along to kind of help. It just says that this could have an indication of having a job outside the home or your hometown or even abroad. That it is about perhaps social climbing, but it is a card that indicates career, progress, something changing for the better, and efforts to improve one's position. The card is dynamic and pushes other cards towards the development of new possibilities. And there's the new possibility. Okay. It can refer due to the flowers in her hand, a gift of great value, but also she's waving the white flag of truce. And maybe this is you knowing, you know what, in order to get this, I'm just going to have to do whatever, you know, maybe bite my tongue or figure out another way to get across to this person. The Bambino simply represents new conditions, new situations, okay? And maybe the decision that you have to make is, do you continue to deal with this person? Do you allow whatever their lies was, or maybe they mishandled something, or maybe you haven't heard from them, whatever the case may be? Are you going to allow that to stop you from doing what you're doing? Because if the person is behaving in that manner, that just says that they're not serving your purpose where you're trying to go, right? And that's the truth of it. And aces are always yes. Did that crap hurt? Yeah, it did. You know, was it crappy? Yeah, it was. But you don't have to allow that to prevent you from doing whatever it is that you want to do or that you desire to do, right? That is strictly up to you. Let me get these Golden Nostradamus cards. I don't know what it is about these quarter moons. I don't know. I know we have a full moon in Libra coming up on the 26th. But and the reason why I keep bringing up the quarter moons is she's got the quarter moon at her feet. And this one has the quarter moon up there. I think that's a quarter moon. Okay. quarter moon. Yeah, I think it's a quarter moon, not a half moon, because we don't do half moons, right? So let's formulate this card wants to present itself. Let's see what the card has to say. Number 14, the treasures. I think that's what that's called. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Who am I? Scorpio? Yeah, okay. All right, so number 14, and the card says, it is the coffer. Often riches go to people who do not understand their values. This card predicts earnings, treasures, sound investments. Business deals will be favored or gather the fruits of seeds sown in the past. So in other words, whatever lessons you had dealing with this guy, you now know what the truth is, and you can move forward without repeating the same mistake. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for May 2021. I do hope those messages help. Until next time, stay safe and namaste.